Present our final project named Enhancement of Intensive Intermediate English 1 Students Speaking Skill through Interactive Games inside the classroom at the University of Salvador, Western Multidisciplinary Campus during semester 2, 2018. And the members of this group are Evelyn Acosta, Vanessa Ciprian, Jacqueline Perez, Monica Vides, and myself, Jonathan Rodriguez. And the coordinator, teacher Roxana Leonor Villera de Trigueros. And we have the acknowledgements. I'm going to talk about the abstract. This project was meant to be to show the relationship between the enhancement the enhancement of the speaking skill by the application of interactive games inside the classroom in intensive intermediate English 1. The subjects of the study were two groups, number 1 and number 2. And we showed the mixed paradigm to show the relationship between variables. And data collection tools were needed to find or to have a collection of data and to have at the end good conclusions and recommendations. So, chapter number 1, statement of the problem. A statement of the problem says, intensive intermediate English 1 students show deficiency in the speaking skill at the moment of communicating due to their lack of vocabulary in context, grammar structure, and language transfer at the University of Salvador, Western Multidisciplinary Campus during semester 2, 2018. Now, we have the description of the problem. Based on an interview made on May 14, 2018, experienced teacher gave us some factors, some hint about the problems of intensive intermediate 1 students. And some factors are, for example, students do understand English, but they are not able to produce English. Also, students show many problems about pronunciation, grammar structure. And also, students most of the time translate their thoughts or ideas, so they commit many language transfer mistakes. So we have the objectives. The general says to describe intensive intermediate English 1 students' enhancement of their speaking skill through interactive games inside the classroom at the University of Salvador, Western Multidisciplinary Campus during semester 2, 2018. And the specific ones. Number 1, to determine what types of interactive games help intensive intermediate English 1 students improve their vocabulary in context inside the classroom. Number 2, to analyze how interactive games improve intensive intermediate English 1 students' speaking skill when applying grammar structure. And the last one, to explain how interactive games avoid language transfer in intensive intermediate English 1 students' speaking skill. And we have two hypotheses, hypothesis of action and hypothesis of change. And hypothesis of action says, how can teachers improve intensive intermediate English 1 students' speaking skill through interactive games? And the hypothesis of change says, if intensive intermediate English 1 students are exposed to interactive games, they will enhance their speaking skill. Now, let's move on to the justification. It is very important to mention that this study was possible to carry out because this phenomenon occurs every single day at the University of Salvador, Western Multidisciplinary Campus. As well, at the end of this investigation, the students from intensive intermediate 1 can improve their grammar structure, their vocabulary context, and avoiding at the same time language transfer. And the scope of the problem. This study will be implemented at the University of Salvador, Western Multidisciplinary Campus during semester 2, 2018. And it will be addressed to intensive intermediate English 1 students majoring de licenciatura en idioma inglés opción enseñanza during semester 2, 2018. The purpose of this study is to enhance intensive intermediate English 1 students' speaking skill through interactive games inside the classroom. and my classmate is going to continue.
Number 2, my name is Monica Vides. The chapter number 2, referential framework. I'm going to start with the background of the story. First of all, we have to know that every language has two types of skills: perceptive and productive. Perceptive, such as listening and reading, and productive, such as speaking and writing. Each of these skills must be developed in order to communicate ideas, thoughts, and opinions. However, according to Biget, 1987, speaking is a skill which deserves a lot of attention. So now I'm going to start with the previous study. According to Becky, 2013, established that students found English as a difficult task, and they can understand a message, but they cannot communicate. As a consequence, they found English difficult. That is a comparative study of Finnish and Japanese. However, the actual situation, the difficulties that students face the moment of communicating not only happen in ESL students, but also in El Salvador, especially in intensive intermediate English. According to Hidalgo 2013, the majority of students found troubles when they tried to communicate. And he said that sometimes students participate by own impulse, but when they participate, they commit many mistakes. So now I'm going to start with the variables. The first one, which is speaking skills. According to Biget, 1987, speaking is a skill that involves four processes: conceptualization, formulation, articulation, and self-monitoring. However, according to Scott, he said that students show difficulties at the moment of communicating. Difficulties like confidence, intonation, pronunciation, rhythm, and grammar. So now I'm going to continue with vocabulary and context. According to Robinson, 2010, he said that to develop this skill, they can use material instead of using a dictionary. And in that case, they will have a real situation and they will try to learn more. The third objective, grammatical structure. This is, according to Daly, 2013, grammar gave the potential and the ability to communicate and to use basic sentences. In that way, students trying to learn how to manage and how to be an efficient student. Also, when a student have the knowledge about this, they can give long sentences and meaningful sentences. So now I'm going to continue with the last variable, which is language transfer. Language transfer. The term language transfer is concerned about the replication of rules that the students use from the first language to the second language. When students are learning, they can commit many mistakes. Mistakes like semantics, spelling, syntax, and pronunciation. Finally, I am going to talk about interactive games. Using interactive games inside the classroom. According to Bernie, interactive games is not a diversion or a break of time. It is for help students, and they will improve the listening skills. The second, when they have to use interactive games. Interactive games can be used in the classroom in order to help students. They will interact, they will cooperate, and they will be encouraged in every single activity. Number 3, important things to consider when using interactive games in the classroom. First of all, games lower the anxiety levels, and also we have to be conscious about the target language. And finally, the benefits of using games in the classroom. Well, the benefits can be motivation, can be interaction, can be confidence. Finally, the weaknesses that students can improve through interactive games are speaking skill, vocabulary and context, grammatical structure, and language transfer. Games gave them the opportunity to have an active role in the classroom.
Good morning. My name is Evelyn, and I am going to continue with chapter number 3, methodological design, which was developed in the following sections: data about this investigation, the researchers made use of a mixed method which was developed, which demonstrated the relationship among variables. Besides, the researchers carried out an action research which described the enhancement of the students' speaking skill through interactive games. Then, description of the environment. This investigation took place at the University of El Salvador Western Multidisciplinary Campus during semester 2, 2018. The population to be studied was intensive intermediate English 1 students. Units of observation. First, speaking skill proficiency, vocabulary and context, use of grammatical structures, language transfer in student speaking skill. The researchers took into account all those units of observations. Sampling procedure. The researchers used simple sampling procedure. Even though all the students accomplished the requirements to be part of this investigation, the researchers only took into account two groups, one from the morning shift and another one from the afternoon shift. Besides, it's important to mention that in this investigation there was any exclusion of gender, sex, religion, economic status, or students who have failed the subject, etc. Operationalization of variables. After their literature review had been concluded, the researchers presented the variable together with their indicators. Besides, each variable was analyzed, and I am going to explain each of the parts of the operationalization. First, we have research questions. There were 4 research questions. The first one is, to what extent can intensive intermediate English students enhance their speaking skill through interactive games inside the classroom? 2. What types of interactive games help intensive intermediate English 1 students improve their vocabulary and context inside the classroom? 3. How can intensive intermediate English 1 students' speaking skill be improved when applying grammatical structures inside the classroom? General objective. Our general objective was to describe intensive intermediate English 1 students' enhancement of their speaking skill through interactive games inside the classroom at the University of El Salvador Western Multidisciplinary Campus during semester 2, 2018. Specific objectives. The researchers took into account certain specific objectives. The first one, to determine what types of interactive games help intensive intermediate English 1 students improve their vocabulary and context inside the classroom. 2. To analyze how interactive games improve intensive intermediate English 1 students' speaking skill when applying grammatical structures. Then we have 2 hypotheses. The first one is the hypothesis of action, and it says how can teachers improve intensive intermediate English 1 students' speaking skill through, and the answer is through interactive games. And the hypothesis of change is how can, if intensive intermediate English 1 students are exposed to interactive games, they will enhance their speaking skill. Units of observation. I have already explained that, so I will not say it again. Variables. The researchers took into account certain variables, indefinite variables and definite variables. The indefinite variables were interactive games inside the classroom, vocabulary and context, types of interactive games, grammatical structures, and language transfer. And the definite variable was student speaking skill. Also, the researchers used certain instruments to collect data. We used observation guide, checklist, and interview guide. The observation guide had a duration of 1 hour per each class, and it was addressed to intensive intermediate English 1 students. It is important to mention that the observation guide was addressed inside the classroom. The checklist contained from 5 to 8 items, and it includes yes, no squares. Besides, the checklist was carried out inside the classroom of the intensive intermediate English 1 students. Methods to analyze the data. Well, after the researchers implemented the instruments, they analyzed the data. First, the researchers they got a bunch of questions which were numbered and analyzed. Besides, the researchers made use of Microsoft Excel to create graphs in order to analyze the data according to the variables and objectives. Approaching the field of study. In order to address the instruments, the researchers approached the field of study of the following way. First, the researchers created written permissions to ask teachers to observe classes and to administer the questionnaire to administer the instruments. Besides, in order to administer the interview guide, which was addressed to an expert teacher of the language department, the researchers asked for permission and they scheduled a day to address that interview guide. Also, I want to talk about validity and reliability. After the instruments were created, those instruments were validated by 2 expert teachers of the language department of the University of El Salvador. The researchers provided the whole matrix and the operationalization of variable to the teachers so that they could get to know about this investigation. After that, the researchers took into account the comments and they improved the instruments. Then, I want to talk about ethical aspects. The researchers took into account ethical aspects during the realization of this investigation. It was important to take them into account so that the students were told that the information gathered through this investigation was confidential, and anyone could see that information if she or he was not involved in this investigation. Now, I want to talk about the action plan. In order to develop this investigation and to intervene, the researchers. Okay, now I am going to talk about the action plan. It had certain stages: planning phase, first stage, second stage, and final stage. The researchers created 8 lesson plans in order to help students improve their speaking skill. Each lesson plan was created according to the objectives and the variables. Besides, the researchers included the instruments that they would use during the interventions. The action plan started on June 26 and it finished the 3rd week of September. Also, the responsibles for these were the researchers. In each class, there was one researcher who was teaching the class, and the rest were just observing and taking notes. Also, the action plan had the comment squares in which the researchers could write everything that they observed, which was really helpful in order to get conclusions at the end.
Good morning, my name is Jacqueline Perez, and today I'm going to share with you the chapter 4 that is about analysis and interpretation of data. Let's talk about the information that we gathered during this investigation, which one was gathered in a checklist, in an intervention guideline, and an observation guideline. But let's stop in the variable interactive games. As you can see, when all the students had the opportunities for real communication, as you can see in the 100%. In this one, they have the opportunity to interact with others and to make conversation with others, to improve their speaking skills through interactive games. At the same time, this one, the games had the chance to be varied, and at the same time, they had the chance for being challenging. In this way, they are going to speak and interact with others. As you can see in the chart, in the table N7, interaction game inside the classroom. As you can see, interactive games are not just for diversion, but a way of getting learning to use the language in course of the game. It was observed that the students interact with others. Okay. Let's continue with vocabulary and context. All of us know that vocabulary and context, or vocabulary, is about the bank of words that we manage day by day. Okay, as you can see, we have learned vocabulary naturally. This means that vocabulary that some of the students have the chance that they learn naturally, that they learn by putting the language in practice. But the other half have more problems. They face some issues about this. As you can see, vocabulary helps the students to convey clear message. But it was observed that intensive intermediate classes, it was a big problem since the students missed a lot of vocabulary. This means that some of them didn't put the vocabulary into practice. They didn't take into account the feedback that the teacher gave them. Okay, let's continue with types of interactive games. As you can see, types of interactive games, we got that the teachers have a little variety of interactive games, but some of them, as we can see in the answer, they develop just a few parts of interactive games, since they have to continue covering some other parts of the lesson. And let's start with the grammatical structures. That grammar is one of the main parts of the language. That it means with the order of the words, that it means with the meaning of the words also. And we have here that the students learn from the simplest to the complex. What does it mean? We are talking about scaffolding. They go to the simplest structure to the most complex. They know how to use the language, how this second language works in general. As you can see here, that they have, yes, after I explain the notes, I make the students work to practice grammar structure. And we can see some of the activities that we developed was called it's a movie time. In this one, the teacher told us that this teacher put into practice the grammatical structure, but by this game or by this activity, just after explaining the grammar notes. They have to know the simplest thing, and then they make it into a most complex thing. And then we have language transfer. All of us, when we are starting to learn a new language, we start making some mistakes. For example, try to put in the words that sound similar into our mother tongue. As we can see, the students are committed grammatical mistakes, grammar transfer mistakes in 100%. What does it mean? That the students were all trying to sound like Spanish in this case, and it is a very few percent, since all of them do not put into practice, as I said before, the vocabulary, and did not take into account the feedback that the teachers gave them. As you can see here. Another thing that I said before, that they not put into practice the game. Who? The teachers. They did not put this into practice, since they are more focused on covering the whole lesson plan, instead of making a little pause and then try to fix this, or try to help the students to fix or to improve or to avoid their vocabulary, their transfer mistakes. As we can see here. Okay, and then we have the speaking skill. And we can say the speaking skill is one of the most important parts, or it is one of the most important skills at the moment of speaking a new language. And we can say that speaking, it is not only about grammar, and it is not only about vocabulary. It also deals with the confidence that they have. But in this case, during the observation that we have, just a little part of them show that they improve their confidence. So the others not. Why? Because, as I said, the practice and the vocabulary and the feedback were not taken into account.
Good morning. My name is Vanessa Sirian, and I am going to continue with chapter 5. After analyzing the data, the researchers came up with the conclusions and the recommendations of the study. And throughout this problem, the researchers had to take into consideration some fundamental aspects, such as interactive games, types of interactive games, speaking skill, vocabulary context, grammatical structures, and language transfer. So, the researchers found that the hypothesis of action is true. As stated by Hanfield, 1984, students can improve their speaking skills through interactive games. However, the results gotten through these investigations were not the same as the theory explains. Also, we have that the hypothesis of change is false. Since intensive intermediate English 1 students show difficulties to speak in English. Students were exposed to interactive games related to vocabulary and context, grammatical structures, and interactive games that help to avoid language transfer. That provided them opportunities for real communication, clear and achievable purposes, and also challenges. However, the intensive intermediate English 1 students didn't improve their difficulties at the moment of speaking English. Also, the researchers found that the students' types of interactive games are not varied inside the classroom because the topics of the curriculum must be covered, and also class time is not enough. However, students were exposed to different types of interactive games during the interventions, and in spite of that, the students showed the proofs of having difficulties at the moment of speaking English. However, it is important to mention that the students improved confidence and the ability to interact with each other. Also, the researchers concluded that students show difficulties with grammatical structures since they don't know how the English language works. And during the interventions, the researchers noticed that students mixed tenses and grammatical structures. And another conclusion is that language transfer mistakes were presented. This was noticed because students, when they try to express their ideas, they try to apply their rules of their mother tongue, which is Spanish. Also, we have recommendations. And the first recommendation is that students should be exposed to interactive games that helps them with grammatical structures, such as speak and tell a story, for example. These types of interactive games can help them to understand how the language works and how the grammatical structures are applied. Also, students can do other activities to improve their grammatical structures, such as reading books, watching TV, and listening to music in English. Also, students should avoid using the first languages rules. This means that students should avoid language transfer. And for that to be achieved, they can practice with their classmates. They can practice conversations in English with their classmates. Also, internet helps a lot since students can interact with native speakers. Also, we have that interactive games should be varied. Should be varied inside the classroom, and this is going to help them to have a better quality in their when they speak in English. And also the teacher must look for ways or for games that give students equal chances to participate. For example, they can play crosswords or puzzles, charades, or Scrabble. And finally, we have that the students should be aware of the importance of rhythm and intonation when they express their ideas. This is very important because intonation is really essential. And for that, the teacher can give them inspiring quotes or inspiring phrases that can be read out loud, so students can practice the intonation after they get to the point to have a better rhythm and intonation when they speak in English.